Hi there, welcome back. Today I'd like to talk to you about overcoming, the ability to overcome. In fact, I think of the ability to overcome as one of humanity's superpowers. You and I, everybody has the ability to overcome. We just have to walk in that direction and strive to achieve overcoming and not be surrendered to negative things in life, the things that are stopping us from our happiness and our peace. So let's go a little bit deeper on that and see what we can dig out on this. So in life, almost everyone encounters obstacles. There's just little ones and big ones, and some of them really confound us, amaze us, and discourage us, and overwhelm us. That's the biggest word I can think of, how it feels when we encounter an obstacle. It's overwhelming. The way that we're going to overcome it seems impossible. But I do like that one quote from Audrey Hepburn. She says, "Nothing's impossible. Even the word says, I'm possible." Brilliant. If any of you have things like that you know are amazing about our English language, please send them along. I love things like that. I sort of collect those too. All right, so these obstacles that we can experience can sometimes seem just absolutely impregnable. I think about a picture I saw once where there was a path in a mountainous area and a big boulder was blocking the path. And, you know, some people could just say, well, this is an impossible path to navigate. You can't go any further. It's blocked. Our pathway is blocked. But in the picture, they just showed the next scene was the man climbing on top of the boulder and walking right over it. There's always a way to go over or under or around something and even through. Fear is an illusion, and sometimes it just looks so real to us that we can't imagine it not being real. But it's actually just an imagination of what might happen, what might be possible, what might be our outcome. And if we could just stop looking at that illusion as if it's real, like it's three-dimensional and solid, and see it for the smoky illusion that it is, just an image that's temporarily in our mind. Boy, I can't talk right today. Then we can, see beyond that illusion and see that it was nothing to be worried about at all. It was easily overcome, or maybe it took us years to get to the point where we could understand that, and it doesn't feel like it was easy to overcome, but the actual activity of overcoming that barrier was, all you had to do is decide, oh, that's not real, and see past that illusion. So different between the amount of time it took to get to that realization and the actual resolution that was seconds in the actual unfolding. Okay, you do have that evidence. I think we've talked about this before, of everything in your life that was challenging before. Somehow you overcame it and you're here now. It didn't stop your life. It didn't stop you. And it doesn't have to stop your happiness or your peace either. So having that ability to discern that things in life that seem to be barriers are not always barriers. In fact, very few of them are, and that humans have the capacity to overcome it is just such an amazing thing to hold with you, in you, and know for a certainty. And when you know it for a certainty, then you can get through anything. And then the other aspect of this whole idea of obstacles and overcoming obstacles, if you think of the analogy of light and darkness, and that if you're in a dark room and you go into it, or you're saying I don't want to be in the dark anymore, you flip on the light switch and it's all over and around you is light, and you're fine and you can see and you can do what you want to do in that room because you have the light and the vision to be able to see because of the light. But you don't go into a room that's light and lose the light by flipping on a dark switch. You see, the darkness is the absence of light, so you can't really take that away by adding darkness. You have to actually pinch off the light. You have to turn off the light switch to get dark again. And that's a choice. You can keep the light switch on as long as you want, and you can keep your awareness and your decision to stay in the positive aspect of life, of your being, as long as you want. And that only when you surrender that choice and allow darkness to be what you focus on, that's when you lose the light. That's when darkness wins. Another analogy I like is or metaphor. Analogy, metaphor. You decide. I can't even think about that right now. I'm sorry. I'm just going to tell you about the peace train, okay? So you can live your life on a peace train. So that's what you're riding on. That's a journey that's filled with peace, and that's wonderful. But there could be another person on another track, and their life is filled with negativity, and they're a victim of life, and they complain or they vent or they tell their stories about how life is so hard and challenging and negative, and how they're a victim of all of that. And you could jump onto their train and try and console them and tell them about your train across on the other track, but they don't necessarily have to go join you on your train, and they don't necessarily have to convert their train into a peace train or a positivity train either. They can choose to do that, or they can choose to leave it as is. And it's your choice whether you join them on that train that they're on, negative train, or if you go back to your train and stay there. And sometimes if you go back to your train and they see how happy you are over there, there's a chance they too could change their train to a peace train, or at least join you for a while on yours to see how to do that. So those are the things that I want to share with you today, and hopefully there's some illumination or inspiration in what I've shared. And I hope you'll find a way to develop a wonderful peace train of your own, full of happiness and joy, and that you have a way to share that with others too. In fact, if you would just like or subscribe to this channel and share these videos with someone who might need it, that would be a good blessing to be in the world today. Thank you. I hope your journey is full of peace and joy, and we'll see you on the next video. Namaste.